Right.
Welcome to another episode of Scottish Football Matters with myself, Murray, and my good friend Lorenzo.
Hi.
This episode, we're going to review the weekend's games, which included obviously the Old Firm Derby, the Dundee Derby. We're going to, after that, talk on the sacking of Jimmy Thelin and Wilfried Nancy, and now we've just got word the replacement of Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney until the end of the season. And then we'll do a quick preview of the two midweek games, which are as of now are on, but we don't know if they will. But that is Livingston, St Mirren, and Rangers, Aberdeen. But how you? I'm guessing you're better today than you would have been yesterday
Well, yeah, a lot
or
better.
Saturday.
Yeah, a lot better. Obviously, after hearing the news today, I was delighted when I heard that he'd gone.
I'm
And
gutted.
not just him, his deal as well. I'm
I'm
glad he's
gutted. I
away.
mean,
And
Wilfred
obviously,
Nancy was an absolute legend. I'm
well,
sure we feel about him the way you felt about Russell Martin.
we get rid of him a lot quicker than you get rid of Russell Martin.
Aye, not so much, not a lot. Aye, days wise, but I suppose he had that pre-season and Champions League
Aye,
games. But
but I think what
once it
kept him in a
started,
job was the draws. I mean, obviously he was getting draws.
aye, I mean, he only
Nancy
lost,
couldn't even get draws.
one match.
Aye.
That was the thing.
hmm
It was the fact that we drew something like 7 of our first 8. I mean, it was
Yep.
mental. But if we go through the weekend, we'll start with Motherwell St Mirren. I thought Motherwell clear winners. Another
Yep.
great performance, and I really think right now they're in a title race as
They
much
are.
as Rangers, Celtic, and Hearts are.
It's mental
Um,
to think that.
good, probably a great boost for them to get Maswinishi back from the AFCON, and he comes straight back in and scores.
Yep.
And then another great goal by that Elliot Watt. I think he's a great player. I really do. It would have been it's a tough one. It's close from my goal of the weekend because Yang's is probably better, but I hate to give goals when the team loses. If you know what I
Still a
mean,
cracking
like,
goal. I know it was a goal
uh,
that means nothing, but it was an absolute belter. It was a cracker,
but I do think, but I think
which is a shame.
Watt's finish was just as good though. But I suppose the fact that Yang had the whole run thing, I'd probably edge it to Yang. But yeah, Motherwell worthy winners and really comfortable. And I think St Mirren, I don't think they'll get dragged out of the relegation thing, but I would worry for them if Aberdeen were to make a move for the manager
That's what I was
because
thinking.
I think he's going to be high up on their list. Um,
Yeah.
and I have to say, I think St Mirren could do with a couple of wins just to get them clear of. I mean, Dundee are ahead of them now
hmm
because they won in the derby and stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be worried for St Mirren, but I know they've got those two games in hand.
hmm
So I think they've got Livingston on Wednesday, and then I think they've got Hearts next week. So they might be looking to pick up 4, maybe 6 points for that, and then
Yeah.
you'll find that maybe the table will look a bit more where they should be, because I do think when you've played 2 games less, it can look worse. But obviously, they need to get the points in those games, or
You
they
would need
are to the
you would
dinner.
prefer the points on the board rather than having the games in hand. I've always said that.
But I do think though that for them, knowing that all those teams around them haven't gained any points, it's just their way of getting away from it. I think it's different when you're looking to get the points to catch up. What they're
hmm
looking to do is get the points to pull away, and
Pull
I
away.
think they will. But next game, if we go on to Falkirk Aberdeen, I have to say it was the most one-sided 1-0 I think I've ever seen.
hmm
And that's not to get at Jimmy Thelin because he didn't get sacked because of that game. He gets
No,
sacked
it's
because
sacked because of the overall
everything
season
after
cup
that
final.
11 match winning run or whatever it was at the start of last season, unbeaten, where they were brilliant. Let's be honest, a cup win saved them.
Well, it did
If
because
it was
if
if it
Celtic
was
win that
based
cup,
on
he's away.
if it was based on the league form, he would have been gone in the summer. But because of the cup, he got extra time, and
hmm
every time it looked like he was going to get sacked, they did win a couple of games.
Aye.
And at one point, they were edging into the top 6, and
hmm
then they go and lose games like Dundee United and
Yeah.
Falkirk, and they're teams that, let's be honest, see if we're talking about this season being a season unlike any other, Aberdeen should be in there.
They should be, but they're not.
If you're talking about a season where Rangers and Celtic standards slip,
hmm
you're expecting Hibs and Aberdeen. Well, I think Hibs are getting there now, but
You would
Hibs and
also
Aberdeen
expect
must be,
Dundee United to be up there as well, but Dundee United haven't been great either.
I think that comes from the fact that they changed so much in the summer. Dundee
hmm
United, so many signings, and
Yeah,
Jim Goodwin has to do that. He loses players and he has to rebuild
I
again.
know
And
that's teams. That happens at teams. Oh, it
but
happened at
yeah,
Motherwell as well. I think.
I think Falkirk were great. I really did. I thought they probably deserved to win by more than a goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I reckon they could have been 3 or 4 up at half time. And
hmm
we'll talk about teams that should have been 3 or 4 up at half time in a bit. But
hmm Don't
yeah,
know about him.
Falkirk absolutely worthy winners, and it was a good win for them because I think they've been on a wee bit of a sticky patch
Yeah.
ever since they lost to Hearts. They've not really recovered. They've sort of lost games that they shouldn't be losing. I mean, they lost to Dundee, and that's not a team they should be losing to.
No.
But they've got a couple of big games coming up. Because I know they've got Celtic next midweek, and I think they've got
Yeah.
another game at the weekend. And you know that they'll want to. I genuinely think they could finish in the top six,
They could.
but I don't see them being any lower than eighth. Put it that way. I think they'll be that sort of team that might make it, might not. But great win for them.
hmm
Next game, I think Kilmarnock Hibs. This is a tricky one to evaluate because on paper, if anyone just reads it and goes, "Oh, 3-1 Hibs, that was comfortable," it was anything but.
No,
Um,
I know that, but I mean,
Hibs
I
scored the
expected
early
Hibs to
goal.
win.
Aye, but Hibs scored the early goal and then Kelly get the equaliser. And see, for about 10 minutes after the goal, it was all Kelly, and they
hmm
probably should have got a second. They lose a goal, which is just probably an unlucky one for them, but to go 2-1 because I think the keeper could do better. It sort of bounces out.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Yuan puts in the rebound. But then they got the red card, and I've got to admit, seen it on Ref Watch, and they thought it was a red card. But I disagree. I don't think
hmm
that's a red card. I think it's a sore one. It's
Aye.
a yellow. I don't think there's any malice at all. I think he's sort of stood on his foot, but kind of caught his ankle on the way to the foot. And
Yeah.
to me,
It's been accidental.
if we're giving red cards for that, I'm not happy about that because sometimes I know you shouldn't, but sometimes you do need to look at the player and go, right, is he a dirty player? Is he one that's prone to leaving the foot in? No, he's not. And
Was it an actual stamp? I mean, did he
no,
really mean it? You know.
no, I mean, if essentially he catches the side of his ankle on the way to standing on his foot, it's a
hmm
contact sport. I'm okay with giving him a booking
hmm
because it probably hurt him.
Yeah. Aye.
But
It was accidental. He'll have a sore
But that
foot now.
changes
Aye.
it though, because that was 10 minutes to go, and I think Kelly could have got an equaliser, but then obviously Hibs go up and get the penalty, which is a penalty,
hmm
no doubt about that one, and it's
Yeah.
another convincing one for Hibs, and they're they're in that battle for Europe really with Motherwell for me.
hmm
Now I do think Motherwell are still in a title race, but if I'm being totally honest, I don't think they'll last
They
the
won't
pace for
last.
the other three.
They won't.
But I do think they look a lot stronger than Hibs in terms of if you're asking me who's going to finish fourth.
Oh,
So
right. So
um,
you think Hibs won't finish fourth then?
not unless the Motherwell manager leaves. Because right now he's
Well,
got that. Because I've got him at Aberdeen should be asking questions as well.
I thought Celtic would as well.
They've obviously got their old man to turn to.
They have, but
Uh,
they've got him back. But I wouldn't say no to Jens Bertalascu in the summer if Celtic were
yeah,
interested.
I think you should see how he goes because as we've
Aye,
seen with Jimmy Thelin, it
see how he
can
goes.
fall
Yeah.
off a cliff. And I don't think it
hmm
will with this guy. I think the guy
No.
looks because I didn't think Aberdeen were a great team last year. I don't think they played great football. They were kind of like Hearts are this year. They found ways
hmm
to win set pieces,
And he's different. He's
edging
different to
games.
Nancy. He's a lot different to Nancy. To me, he's got European experience as well. He's obviously managing in Europe. He's now in Scotland,
I know
managing
it's I know a lot of
Motherwell.
his
But
stuff is assistant, but we've seen that with Danny Rowe. It's still experience. It's
I,
still
I know,
gaining
I know.
experience of different teams, different countries. So
Well, I mean,
yeah,
and Danny Rowe obviously he can change it when it's not gone right. Whereas Wilfried
we'll
Nancy
get to
wasn't
that.
doing
We'll
that.
get to that. Hearts Livingston. All I'm going to say about this game is Hearts should have been about 10-0 up in the first 20 minutes, but after that, Livingston were as good as Hearts.
I had a feeling.
Um,
I know Hearts obviously were favourites, but I had a feeling that Livingston might have done something, but it didn't
and they
happen.
were see if that big Yengi could finish. It should have been. He's
Oh,
got a clear
oh,
header on the 90th
see if he
minute.
could finish. He wouldn't be at Livingston, would he?
Aye, but a clear header. Any striker though, 6 yards out, free header for a corner.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be working the keeper a lot more than that. It was basically like it was a pass back. That's
Yep.
you know what I mean. It's poor, but that's where Livingston are at the moment. They've not got any real cutting edge, and Hearts won again. So fair play to them.
Mm-hmm.
Dundee derby, deserved winners. Dundee were the better side. I watched a good bit of it after the Rangers Celtic game, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought. I've got to admit, I need to hold my hands up here. I was predicting Stephen Presley to get himself into a bit of trouble and maybe find a sack, but he's done the complete opposite, and he's found
No.
3 wins in 3
Yeah.
games against, Kilmarnock, Falkirk, and Dundee United, and
Mm-hmm.
and 2 of those were away, I think. And I've got to say, fair enough, fair play,
Mm-hmm.
absolute fair play. And
Oh, exactly.
I don't think they'll go down now. I don't think they'll be a great side. I still think they'll finish 10th, but
All right, you still think they'll finish bottom 3, but they won't be in
aye,
the playoff.
I don't see them pulling away or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they're as bad as Kelly and Livingston. And I did say that all it would take is one team to go on like a 3-match winning run or whatever.
Yeah.
And we would find that one team could pull away. I thought it might have been Kilmarnock who would do that with a new manager, but they've not even really, they've still got Doolin in interim charge, and it's not really working. But fair play to Dundee, that's all I'd say. And Dundee United, again, Jekyll and Hyde, the ship version turned up again.
Yeah.
Because I've got to admit, I didn't even think they looked like equalising. You know, sometimes when it's 1-0 and it goes into the last 10 minutes and you think, oh, they'll be backs to the wall. It really wasn't. And for a team like Dundee to go to Tannadice, I know it's across the road, but to go into their ground with all the away fans, all the home fans, and be that comfortable, yeah, fair play.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we go on to the derby, you'll want to talk about. We'll both do a kind of what we felt about it, but in my opinion, Celtic, actually Rangers came out the traps quite well for the first 5 minutes. I thought it was a good start.
They did.
And then from about the 10th minute to the 40th minute,
Celtic were all over Rangers.
Celtic were all over us. And I'm going to say something because I know a lot of people have come down on Asgard and said he was terrible, right? I think he gets a booking after about 7 minutes, if I'm right, where he pulls back. Can't remember who it was. I want to say it was maybe McCowan or someone, right? He pulls him back and it's a definite yellow, right? No one's arguing that. But I actually feel sorry for the boy because he'd had a red card in the last Old Firm, right? And he just looked scared to make a challenge, to make a
challenge
tackle.
Because of what happened.
Because of what happened. And anyone who says he was absolutely atrocious are correct, right? But I think there was mitigating circumstances in that he was just... But Danny Rule could have noticed that earlier and put him off.
He was hesitant, obviously hesitant.
Because even at the... We'll talk about it. Celtic were fabulous at times, right, with the attacking football.
Oh, great going forward, but just can't defend.
Well, I'm going to look great. They are great, right? But the end product is shit.
Well, I'll rephrase that. They're good going forward, but for the chances they create, they should score a lot more goals. Put it that way.
Well, also for the chances they create, right? They should be making Butland work harder for his saves. I mean, some of the shots were like, I mean, Johnny Kenny tackled the ball when he should have shot. What was that?
Johnny Kenny's
not wrong. The Johnny Kenny one that Butland saves low down to the right is a good save, but you wouldn't say that he made another great save. All Celtic's dominance.
Johnny Kenny maybe scores that under Martin O'Neill.
Confidence and and obviously he didn't even come off the bench, did he, against Motherwell? So what did he think?
No.
That
I know.
I'm a third choice, and
because
then
he
all
used
of a sudden I'm
he used Shin Yamada.
Yeah, but what I would say though is that this was a carbon copy of Celtic Dundee United, where
it was
excellent in the first half, but then the last 5 minutes of the half, you seen the tide turning, and I know
your goal, the goal that you got the ball over the top. When I saw that, and I thought, well, that's a warning. That'll happen in the second half, and it did.
And it was offside. No one can even argue that at all.
It was,
in fact, I think it was about 6 years offside.
But that's a warning. If that's not a warning, I don't know what is. You know.
And you seen how easy it was for. Which I know he was offside, but
it was an easy finish.
Easy ball in, cross tap goal. Right?
And if he's no offside, it's an absolutely fucking brilliant piece of play, because obviously Celtic get caught out like that. They've been caught out like that loads of times, so we've been caught out like that.
I think Rangers went in at half time and that gave them a wee boost to go, right, firstly, we're no 3 or 4 down, which we should be.
They
Secondly,
should have
we've
been.
shown that in one pass we can get in behind. And obviously they'd taken out Asgard, who'd been on the booking, and bringing in Diomande and going with a flat three just stop Celtic playing. And
what I thought was terrible.
Yeah.
On you go, you finish first.
No, I was just going to say, what happened after that for me was just a complete reversal of the first half, where, I mean, I don't think Rangers were as dominant as Celtic were, but this is going to sound cruel on Wilfried Nancy, but you don't need to be good to beat a Wilfried Nancy Celtic team. You just need to be competent.
We shouldn't even have needed to have been that good to beat Rangers. Celtic, we shouldn't have really needed to have been that good to beat Rangers, because for me on Saturday, Rangers in the first half were there for the taking. And what annoyed me about the second half was the fact that Yang was the best player in the park, right? And that's saying something, obviously, right? But then he switches him to the left to bring on Araujo. But you're like
also, that. He had Magoma on toast.
That knackers Yang.
But Yang was beating Magoma every time, right? And then what you do is you go and put him up against our best defender, Thelin. He's not going to get a sniff. No disrespect, right? But
I don't know why he swapped him.
I mean, McCowan didn't get a sniff. No one's getting a sniff against Thelin. You can't argue the boy's a good defender, but Magoma isn't.
He's all right.
Keep Yang where he was. No, he is. He's genuinely. If that boy could be fit, he certainly wouldn't be playing this side of the border. But he'd be in the Premiership.
Clearly, Nancy was in the wrong movie, and I'm glad he's gone.
But we'll come back to that. But I think the second half, I have to say, credit to Danny Rule for identifying what needed to be changed, and credit to Big Chermiti for stepping up, because I called into question about whether if he went one-on-one, and by the way, we will speak about Trusty, because just terrible.
Not just him, Schmeichel as well.
Yeah, but what's Trusty do at the second goal?
I know.
You must be aware that Connor Barron is there, right? And Connor Barron ain't going to score a goal, right? You need to be aware who's the biggest danger here.
But they obviously think Chermiti's not going to score a goal either, because he has missed a bad load of sitters.
No, but the guy that just scored 5 minutes ago, or the guy that's never scored a goal, who are you going to mark? You've got to go to the striker. It's common sense. And by the way, Nancy got flung under the bus by a piss poor team of shite bags on Sunday, because Celtic players were shite bags. Saturday, sorry. They absolutely, like, I know that his tactics are woeful, right? I know that he lost 6 out, he deserved to get sacked, right?
But he can't change it. He doesn't. See when it's look at what happened in this. He didn't change it.
But the players just didn't. They didn't play for him.
They didn't buy into his tactics and his system. They just didn't buy into it.
I seen the same movie at Rangers. The players gave up. They stopped playing and they just went, "This is fucking pointless." But by the way, that doesn't excuse it. And I hate when players don't try.
But I don't like the fact that he was trying to play McCowan as a wing back when he's never played there in his life. And even the boy Araujo, he played Araujo as a wing back, and Araujo's a right back in defence. He's a defensive right back. He doesn't play in a back three, and he doesn't play as a wing back either, Araujo. So why bring him in the first place?
Well, he's also bringing in a winger, but I suppose that's now good because Martin O'Neill does play wingers. But
that's the boy.
It didn't. The boy for TB or by what was his name?
Jocelyn something. I don't remember. Tima.
But basically, he's a young Ivorian winger who's not got a goals or assists, but he's only 20.
Is he going to get again?
He's a project player. He's a project player.
Can he keep signing project players? We need to sign players that are ready made.
He's not a first teamer. Do you know what I mean? I still think you should always be making them signings when they come available.
We need a striker that's going to come in right away. We can't have a project striker.
No, I know. But what I would say though is I think Rangers thoroughly deserved the win based on the fact that they played for 15 minutes and Celtic couldn't handle it. And they were clinical. You have to say that. They got 3 shots, 3 goals.
Aye.
And I know some people will go, aye.
I left after the third goal and I walked out. So did quite I'm out.
And I've never been as comfortable in the last 20 minutes of a game because I just knew that once Celtic's bubble bursts.
Well, that was it. As soon as you equalised, I knew they were winning.
I mean, a minute after, he's got a chance at when because you did have other chances. Maida flashed one just wide, and he had one that Butland came out. But honestly, Celtic's bottle just crashed as soon as it went one each, and that's just because the players aren't playing for the manager, and are completely devoid of confidence under him. But
yep.
you need to draw a line under it. He's gone now, and
thank God.
now I think officially we have a title race. And we have a title race where Hearts are favourites because they're 6 clear.
The thing that's annoying, Murray, is see if we'd have just kept Martin O'Neill, we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't have a title race.
No,
Celtic probably would have been top of the league. And
at the end of the day, right,
you know what I mean?
I will said if your granny had balls, she'd be your grandpa.
I know,
right? But like if Rangers if Rangers had appointed Danny Rowland this summer, we'd maybe be top of the league.
I know, I get that.
So you can't. You can't get. I mean, I do get yours is probably worse than that because you just had the guy in place.
Aye, we did, and they let him go for this guy for America, and you're like, you know yourself. I didn't want Nancy in the first place.
You don't always work, and it didn't work.
I didn't want him. But what I will say is, I didn't want him in the first place. But if he's going to be Celtic manager, I'll get behind him. And I did to a certain extent. But it was a cup final for me. When we lost that cup final to St Mirren, that was it for me. That was not quite the tipping point at that point, but the Dundee United game didn't help, and then the Motherwell game for me, we could have went after the Motherwell game before the Rangers game.
I'm glad we didn't because it gave us.
I know you're. Because if we'd have got Martin O'Neill in then, we might have won the game at the weekend.
At the same time, we got
at the very least get a draw.
But we got unlucky early in the season when you appointed Martin O'Neill 3 days before a bloody cup semi. I think we were going to win, so it probably evened itself out that we got the win.
The thing is, again, we've not beaten you in the league now since September 2024.
Yeah, I know. Rangers. I don't want to say they've got the Indian sign over Celtic, but even that cup game, it took extra time and it took us to have 10 men for, I mean, over an hour. You know,
I still don't think that was a penalty. You got the if you didn't get the penalty, we win the game in the 90 minutes.
At the same time, it's not the point. Though you get I'm just saying though that
I know
Celtic weren't exactly. Even under Martin O'Neill, it's like the Rangers with Danny Rule. It's not
under Martin O'Neill.
Free-flowing football. It's not great football, but it is successful winning football.
The thing I'll say about Martin O'Neill is, I didn't enjoy watching every single game we played under Martin O'Neill when he was there, but we won them, and that's what matters.
Sure, you enjoyed when McGregor scores in the last minute. You forget that he's restricted for 90 minutes.
Everybody does that. You'd do that as well with your team.
Wilfried, exactly. I mean, I said the other day against St Mirren where I was like, we got away with one in terms of, you know, we can't just play for 60 minutes. You're not always going to get away with that.
But see under Wilfried Nancy, that doesn't happen. We're goal in the last minute like that to win a game of football. I know we've done it against Aberdeen, but they had 10 men. But
and I mean that was just like the Rangers one, but it was a team that are poor as well. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I was looking back now? Do you know what I think? Winning the 2 games kept him in the job longer. See if we'd have get beat off Aberdeen and Livingston, he'd have been gone long before the Rangers game.
I think even if you'd drawn to Aberdeen, see if it finished one each, see if it like the way it was, if he hadn't got those 90th minute goals, I think he'd have went after that.
Do you think he would have went after that? I think he'd have been sacked after that.
I think getting that win gave him the Livingston game, then they got another one, and then you go, right, it's Christmas, you know. And
do you know the annoying thing about it?
You had those 3 games in like so many days. It's tough.
We've gave him a 2.5 year contract. They're going to have to pay him the whole lot of that.
Yeah, but
that's just shocking. It's shocking.
But don't you think Rangers had to pay Russell
Martin?
I
get that, but it's pure negligence.
You need to get rid of the shite though. But
you're like that. The Rangers do your due diligence, and you won't need to bring guys like that in.
Do you know what I'd say though? I give Rangers board a bit of a pass on that one because they're just into Scottish football. So they made a mistake, right?
Aye, the American guys.
Aye. So they misjudged the standard. I think they thought, if you get somebody from England, they'll be better than Scotland. That's how it works. And we all know it's not how it works. But Celtic should have known what it takes to win a league. Your board's been in place.
The guy wasn't up to it. Even for day one in the game, like the Hearts game, he was never up for it to get the job. It's too big for him. Far too big.
If we touch on Jimmy Thelin, though, I suppose another one that's gone. It's long overdue. He had to go. I don't know if Peter Leaving will get the job full time or whether it's just a temporary thing. But as far
he got it the last time temporary, didn't he? Before Jimmy came in.
But if he can get any points against Rangers this week, then he needs to be considered.
Did he beat Rangers the last time he was in temporary charge?
I can't remember. Everyone beats Rangers.
I don't know. But
what I would say is, see, after these 2 Rangers games, they've got like a winnable cup tie and then I think they've got like Livingston at home, Dundee at home, and then I think maybe Livingston away, Dundee at home, and then Celtic at home.
Yeah.
Is the next 4. And I did think under Nancy that's a winnable game, but
Well,
that won't be as winnable now. But
speaking of cup ties, I'm actually looking forward. I'm
you're now
really
not
happy
scared of
about
Auchinleck.
the Auchinleck Talbot game, of course. Aye,
No.
because that
But
was going to be a nightmare.
I bet you're not scared about Dundee United now on Saturday,
No,
whereas you were pretty dreading it.
no, exactly. At home now,
I
Martin
don't think
O'Neill back.
Celtic will play well, but they'll find a way to win.
Oh, we will. But I think they'll win. And so I actually think, I'm hoping that it's going to be a good heavy win for Celtic in terms of
Yeah.
4,
I still
4,
think
5.
it'll be tough going to Falkirk on
It will
Wednesday.
be. But I'm hoping for
But you're looking for one of those like 2-1
what you got, a statement win.
wins
I want a
against
statement win
United.
against Dundee United. I want a statement win as in a comfortable win. You know, like 4-5-0 if it can happen. Because I want Celtic to take their anger out on a team, and it has to happen at some point.
And what I would say is, like, I know it doesn't look great for Rangers in terms of Celtic getting a good, competent manager in, but if we can take care of our business in January, use play Hearts now, and I genuinely think you can beat Hearts with Martin O'Neill.
Martin O'Neill, I hope so.
And if you beat Hearts, then that's not a bad result for us either, because it just brings
it's not, because it means if you keep winning, then you obviously.
Because I'm always going to expect that when we play you at Ibrox, we can win that much. That's our chance to go ahead of you. That's the way I look at it. I never look at, Celtic will drop points.
But with
here.
Martin O'Neill now,
with
Martin O'Neill now, I've got more confidence of getting something at Ibrox rather than what I would have if Nancy was
always a
in
chance.
charge.
I mean, but what I'd like to see is, can Danny Rule build on this? You know, because we're talking about statement wins. That was a statement win for him because he hadn't won a big match, I would say, because we lost the cup game, we lost at Tynecastle, he's been pushing Europe. That was a big win. I know we've beaten Motherwell and Hibs away. That was a good win, but I think Hibs are so up and down that I don't count that as a big win. Mm-hmm. But I think beating Celtic on their own patch is a big win, regardless of how bad Celtic have been.
It's mental to think though that we won 7 out of 8 under O'Neill, and then we've only won 2 matches since O'Neill left.
Well, do you know it's mental? You have lost, was it 6 games in the league this year?
Aye, but in the calendar year of 2025, we've lost something like 15 games, something like that.
17.
Was it 17?
And you've lost 1 in 2026 already. So,
I know.
You're welcome.
Well, hopefully, I'm hoping that we will be the only one. I don't think it will, but you never know.
But I don't see Hearts beating you now under Martin O'Neill, and I don't see.
Well, I hope you're right.
And I've always felt that like Rangers playing Hearts at home next, and I know you've got to Tynecastle, but if we can both beat them, that flips everything. Like everything's flipped. Do you know what I mean? It's like we could find a position where we're all, by the end of February, we're all very similar, maybe on the same points, going into that Old Firm game in March.
That'll be mental. That's something I would like. No, if it's not good for the heart.
Trust me, though, this is... Rangers and Celtic have made 2 poor decisions, and Hearts made a very good decision this year. Hearts made a good decision by getting a manager that knows this league, hence they've won games. Rangers made a decision by getting a manager that doesn't know the league, and Celtic did the same. And it's made it, by the way, a close battle. Because
but what I'll say, going forward,
it wouldn't have been...
but going forward in seasons to come, will Hearts have a better chance of doing what they're doing at the minute? And will Celtic and Rangers be as poor as they have been this season?
The second bit is no, but Hearts will still have a chance because...
What, in seasons to come, do you think?
But if they can get to a point where they're beating the rest on a regular basis, they're
obviously going to draw attention towards their best players, and they're going to have to sell them.
Not necessarily, though. But the only thing is, it's more wages. I agree.
But if they're getting top dollar for them, if they're getting like 20 million for
Braga or something like that. Businessman. He's a businessman at the end of the day. But no, I think this is still. I still think Hearts are favourites, and I think Celtic are marginally second favourites over Rangers.
I'd say that now that Martin was back.
Yeah, but before today, I had Rangers second favourites because I felt that Celtic were just going to keep dropping more points until they made that sacking.
Aye, I'm glad they've done it though, because it couldn't drag on any longer than what it did.
But I tell you what, though, it changes the January transfer window, because I know you're going to bring in that Ivorian kid, but now you're always going to target players that Martin O'Neill wants for his team. And Rangers are obviously working on players that Danny Rule wants. So
I still think if Martin O'Neill brings in players, I still think they'll be good enough for the next manager that comes in anyway. I don't think they'll be bad players. I don't think
Well, it's not even just that, because let's be honest, the next manager doesn't matter. What needs to happen right now is you need to be in a title race. You need to win the league.
You need to think of now, no next season. It's now that matters. Exactly.
And if it is more loans than
fair enough.
permanence, and so be it. Because let's be honest, you've all picked up a Bellamy or a Robbie Keane on a loan, because it can happen, because a manager can attract. But I think Rangers are more about permanent players, because we need to get rid of the shitter ones that we signed and get ones that I think are more suited to us. Because, for instance, it looks like Danilo is going to go and Windass is going to come in. Now, some people would go, oh, is that an upgrade? Maybe not on talent, but based on the needs of this league, I think it is. Because Danilo he's no suited to this league. It's too physical. It's too, robust.
Aye.
Whereas Josh Windass, to me, isn't a great player, but he is somebody who, against a Dundee or a Dundee United, will pick up goals.
We'll need to move on to the predictions.
Yeah, there's only 2 games. Yeah. I think Livingston.
2 games midweek. 2 games midweek. You've got the 2 games, haven't you? So,
aye. And just double checking who's at home.
And obviously the Aberdeen game against Rangers, if it goes ahead.
Yeah.
Right, so
it is. Yep, Livingston at home to St Mirren. I'm going to go 2-1 St Mirren. I feel they'll do enough to win. They need to win.
You think Livingston will score?
Yeah, just because, they've scored in the last... I mean, they didn't score against Hearts, but they've scored against... who's it? Dundee United. They lost 3-1. They scored 2 against Celtic. They do have a goal in them.
They probably will score. I think St Mirren will probably score 3. I would go for 3-1 with St Mirren.
I'll stick with 2-1, and if it goes ahead right now, I'll take Rangers 2-0. But only because, and maybe not only because of the change of manager, but I just think it does disrupt things. I think that Aberdeen have got a chance on Sunday.
No, you get that bounce when the manager leaves. You always get a bounce, and
I know, but I think it's too soon for the bounce. I think the bounce could come on Sunday,
right,
in front of their own fans. I just think
going down to Ibrox, Rangers probably will win, but
I think Rangers will have the bounce of winning. I think if any game's going to be a draw, it'd be Sunday. But I think Rangers at home will find a way to win, and they'll. This is our game in hand, I suppose. I know you and Hearts play yours next week.
I'll stick my neck out then, and I'll say that Aberdeen will win 2-1. There you go.
Jesus. No, I think
they won't. But
I'm going to go 2-0 Rangers, and I'm going to go Chimity and Miovski to score, because Miovski has to score against his old team just to wind them up. It's almost a guarantee, isn't it?
Well, they'll be booing him anyway. You know that. They'll boo him.
If they've got any fans can make it, I suppose.
Well, as if the game goes ahead as well.
But we'll see. But I'm actually fairly confident with this one. I'm not as confident about Sunday, because Pittodrie's just tough for Rangers. I don't know why it's tough, but it always is.
Even at Ibrox, it's been tough as well before in the past as well. It's always a hard game.
It's always a shit Rangers that loses to Aberdeen. If a Rangers team's on momentum, they usually just swat them aside at Ibrox. But away, they always struggle, whether they're top of the league or bottom of the league. We'd always struggle there. No. But we'll see what comes, and we'll be back on Friday, and we can look ahead to the weekend games. I'm sure you'll be looking ahead with a bit more optimism.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Without doubt.
There goes my 3-0 Dundee United prediction out the window.
Well, you can stick that with the sun, don't you?
He'll probably win. He's won now, but I think it sets up for a very interesting January, especially because it'll be about balancing games and trying to get signings in.
Mm-hmm. Aye,
and I think whoever comes out of this January stronger, I think wins the league out of the 3 teams.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
I still think it'll come down to Rangers and Celtic.
I think so myself. I think Hearts will eventually falter away.
I still think if we're going into the split, and I think we will be close going into the split, all three of us will be in with a shout, but I think Rangers and Celtic will be neck and neck.
Right.
Because I just think now they've got two managers
obviously omitting a disastrous spell for one of the clubs. Who knows? We've already had your disaster.
We've had
yours. And obviously Hearts haven't had theirs yet.
No, and I think we've had our crazy spell and you've had yours. So now it's about who can be the most consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So bring it on. Let's enjoy a title challenge.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed beating you on Saturday, and long may it continue. Chamiti looked like a footballer. That's what Nancy done. Nancy made Chamiti look like a footballer.
Made him look good. Well, Nancy's gone now, so
his first goal
that's
really
it.
well.
Nancy's
cool.
away.
Right, I'll let you go.
Right. Cheers. Thanks again. Right. Bye.
Bye.